everybody, my name is CJ Gaming and welcome back to Buried, an interactive story, and we're going to begin Chapter 2 today. Now, a couple of announcements. Number one, something went wrong with the recording. I'm at episode 4, and I screwed it up, and I played the whole episode, but the other two episodes, the other two parts got disrecorded. So yeah, I'm gonna re-record them today. Since I already know the reaction, my reaction won't do much really, so yeah, that's cool. But yeah, guys, anyways, so let's move on. As you can see, we're back on here, and I remember that I was on majority most of the time. But yeah, let's begin chapter 2. Also, I was sick and had a fever, and I would play more, and yeah, what is this? We're standing on the thin platform of what looks like a fancy subway. The rails look well used but not old. There are some overhead lights that are very dim, as if they are running on emergency power. The dim overhead lights are a blessing, but the size of the place makes me feel vulnerable. Staring ahead, this tunnel seems to be endless. It's almost dizzying. But there's a small light further ahead, and then a space that breaks the monotony of the tunnel's curved surface. Another platform, maybe. Why are we in a subway tunnel? Dennis, what do you think this is? Well, if I say that, he thinks of me as a boss. So, he'd probably be like, oh, he knows about the subway tunnel, or something like that. But, let's do that. Looks like we're waiting for the D train, Dennis says with a deadly soundly cackle. Also, the ringing noise is louder down here. It's much more solid now, and there's some other sound. Something like the faint of hum of machinery. What's your take on this, boss? You think we're safe here, Dennis asks. Not at all, this is what I think to myself, but I don't want to let Dennis see that I'm rattled. While he seems to be limping along much better than when we first stumbled into his place, he's still in rough shape. I'm leading him here, and I should probably make him feel confident in that. I'm not sure, this is creepy, yeah, we'll be fine. Uh, um, nah, yeah, we should just do, I'm not sure. You told Dennis you were scared. I think we could officially say that we have no business there, I continue. If you want the truth, I'm a little frightened. A place like this buried under the woods? Well, it just doesn't feel right. I feel like we've walked into a trap or something. My lack of confidence is mirrored in Dennis's face. If he wasn't uneasy before, he is now. From the looks of it, we can either go left or right. Left is slightly late, the right not so much. This makes me uneasy, and I get the sense that one wrong turn in a place like this could have us wandering for hours. Suddenly, I jerk my head to the right as I hear the unmistakable sound of someone walking. Did you hear something? I asked Dennis, my eyes straining to see anything in the darkness. I'm not sure, he says. Maybe. It sounded like footsteps. I wait a moment, the sound doesn't come again. Those are our options. To the left are the flickering lights, indicating that we'll be able to see. There's also a hum of machinery, a sign of life. To the right is just darkness, but we heard footsteps in that direction. Oh, this is... Wow. Oh, I have the feeling this choice right here will change everything. Let's go left. I don't want to go into the darkness. Seems smart to stay in the light. Left it is. Alright, let's continue. Oh, sorry if that was loud. As we head left, the lights are like a beacon in the dark, luring us forward. Someone left the lights on for us, Dennis says, trying to be funny but creeping me out instead. I wonder if that's a good or bad thing, I say. As we near the lights, I hear the hum of machinery grow louder, but it doesn't sound like any machine I've heard before. As the light increases, I use it to take an inventory of Dennis and his condition. While the bleeding seems to have stopped, the amount has soaked into his pants and his shirt is beyond alarming. How much further can you walk? I ask him. Can you keep going? Yes, Dennis says. Let's walk into the deep tunnel that has no business being here. Now fully stepping into the light, I notice that the sound of machinery is coming from an area on the left side that is protected by a guardrail. Wisps of uh, blue light dance on the walls as they leak out from whatever is below. I also see a posted sign that says danger, severe radiation poisoning threat. Uh, Stay back. Dennis, I don't think we should get near whatever it is down there. Dennis studies the blue light a little longer and then nods. He's hurting enough as it is. I don't think we need to add radiation poisoning to his list of ailments. Or mine for that matter. We step away from and take off the tunnel again. As I start walking, I notice another structure coming up to view ahead. Right, continue. As we head further into the tunnel, we reach another platform. There's light coming from the platform, but like the overhead lights, they are dim red and emergency lights. I start to wonder if the explosion at the logging site caused a power outage in this place, whatever this place is. The ringing noise I originally thought it was in my head is getting louder. I'm starting to think that it's some sort of alarm. When we come to the large open area ahead in the tunnel, it further resembles a subway station. As much as they try to ignore the reality, it's undeniable. We have stumbled into some high-tech transportation system that is buried between the forests of Kentucky. It makes absolutely no sense. It creates an entirely new sort of fear as to what the heck we have walked into. I notice that Dennis can't seem to stop himself from shaking. His fear is mirroring my own. When we reach the large opening, we have to climb over the rails and up into the platform. I have to tell Dennis over the rails and then up the small utility ladder that is bolted into the opposite side of the travelway. When he reaches the large open area, resembling a subway waiting area, he collapses on the floor and lets out a heaving breath. You know what, Dennis says, exasperated. This is ridiculous. I quit. I'm not going anywhere. On top of worrying about my crew and the madness of wherever we are, I'm not in the mood for Dennis to act like a baby. Get up. Pull it together, Dennis. It's okay. Take it easy. You can do this. I'm not the one with the gash on my side, I think of myself, so I decided to cut him some slack. Dang, boss. I'm sorry. It's okay. I don't know if you're still on your feet, if I'm being honest. Stubbornness, he says with a weak laugh. You need a minute to rest? I ask, as warmly as I can muster. No, if I sit down to rest, I'm afraid I might not get back up. Let's keep going while I can still do. I reach down, help him to his feet, and then we get ourselves up onto the platform. Right in front of us, there's an entrance to a long hallway exiting the platform area. It's at this point where I realize those red emergency lights may be on for someone else who is actually supposed to be here. Huh. Uh-oh. Well, there you go. I'm gonna do that. Hello, anyone here? I ask. My voice raised to almost a shout. It's not much of an echo. My voice falls flat like a rock from the sky. I'm almost glad I don't get an answer. Hearing anything else in this hollow silence would have given me a heart attack. Ah. Ah. Okay. Sorry about that. I'm just gonna skip a few sentences. This thought does nothing to make me feel better as we walk towards the platform exit. We step inside and it seems just as empty as every other place we have come through, weakly illuminated from more overhead emergency lights. We're standing inside a hallway that looks surreal for a moment. This hallway reminds me of Hospital Lake, but there's something not quite right about it. It's the first clean and tidy area I've seen coming into the woods. It looks like it was recently in use, despite the dim emergency lights overhead. There are chairs against the walls, and the floor seems well clean. So do the walls. The ringing noise is definitely coming from here, and a small black flashing light along the ceiling seems to flash along with it. That ringing noise is, I say, if only to confirm my own thought. But for what? Dennis asks, and he asks a question that had been on my mind since I found the little building in the woods. What the heck is this place? We exchange a look that speaks volumes. We reach the end of the hallway and hear a sound that's like metallic grunting. Sorry. This followed by a clicking noise and then the unmistakable noise of a generator kicking on. Oh, this is the same room. Without warning, the facility jolts to life. The red glow of the emergency lights is suddenly replaced with a bright white fluorescent lights. The mechanical hum is not comforting. However, somehow the power is being back urges us on. It's at then that I notice that the ringing noises stopped. So actually was my alarm. But for what? The power failure? We head down the hallway. The electric hum of the lights something eerie overhead. Other than that, this place is dead quiet. The 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 hall is about 100 feet long with two main doors. One door opens to a large room that looks like a conference room with a whiteboard and papers strewn about. Across the hallway, another door looks like a laboratory of some sort. Dennis slumps against the wall in defeat and lets out a scary sounding chuckle. Sorry, I just felt like doing that. Something funny, I ask, as a dark, brooding panic starts to grip me. Dennis just keeps chuckling as he slides to the floor. I'm just gonna sit here while you look around, he says. The look in his eye reminds me that far too much of a dead animal on the side of the road. Why is he laughing? Oh no. I'm gonna enter the lab. Walking inside, I see small vials in glass containers and held in clear glass case. Everything is either glass or silver, and I instantly feel like I am dirtying the place up. I notice several test tubes in glass cases as well as some sort of tube system that seems to have clear fluid trapped inside of it. In the back corner I find a laptop or in screen safe mode. Look at the laptop. I hit the enter key and the play gray background pops up. There are several icons and folders to choose from. I click on the folder named Test 1.5 Ethos. A few documents filled with formulas and names I mostly don't understand. But there are some things that are easy to understand or that make my blood go cold. Subject 6. Cause of death, embolism, or aneurysm, or both. Ideas for new delivery mode. Spherical liquid induced comatose state first TerraCore Co. equals plausible plutonium supplier. What the heck? I can't help but check out the test tubes. They're all filled with varying green and white blue liquids. So one of them seems to look something like glowing dirt resting at the bottom of it. Another looks like a grasshopper submerged in liquid. It's the strangest grasshopper I've ever seen. At first it looks like it's expanding and contrasting like a blowfish. Then it contracts so much that it vanishes completely. springs back to existence in a completely different test tube than when I actually jump back. I take another look around the lab, trying to piece together what might have been taking place here. I smell some sort of chemical in the air, and it makes me think that someone has used this lab recently. Outside in the hallway, I hear Dennis grunting. I head out of the room, still see him seated on the floor. But I don't get very far because as I exit, a man comes rushing around the corner with an automatic rifle in his hand. This is new. It's hard to look beyond his rifle, but the man carrying it is young, messy, with dark hair. His skin is so pale that I wondered if he maybe lives down here. He has the look of a guy who's been cooped up for a little too long. He doesn't seem like the kind of person I trust with a gun in a stressful situation. As he sees us in the door, he screams and brings the gun up. It is aimed directly at my head. What the? Why would I do that? That would just be getting myself killed. I put my hands in the air, just surprised at how natural it feels to go into his surrendered state. It feels like a dream. Maybe because I feel awake if the maniac pulls the trigger. I recognize you. You stomped off and set off the security mics in the entrance. What? I asked, able to think of anything else to say. Who are you? The man asked. Did you do this? The man eyes us both and sees something in his eyes that unsettles me. He's scared, but there's just nothing else. We're just loggers. His eyes look distant for a moment, and he says bullcrap. But for some reason, I'm pretty sure he knows I'm telling the truth. Someone knocked the power out, the man says. It's back on now, but if it was out loud enough, well, we're in a heap of trouble. Was it you who sent you? Look, we don't know what you're talking about, Dennis says. Something happened down in the woods. Are you alone? Are there others with you? The armed man asked, thrusting this gun in my face. How the heck did we get into this situation, I think to myself. If only I had left that danged rigging noise alone, we wouldn't be here. I'm not really sure we want to give this guy information yet. We don't know anything about him. Then again, he might have answers. We're looking for our crew. We have other crew members that we can't find, I say. Your crew? He asked, seeming confused. This man thinks that we're nuts. There's no telling what he might do. The fact that he looks a little crazy himself makes the situation even hairier. But how'd you get in here? The man asked. I point down the hall towards the subway. We came in that way. The doors are locked. The expression bobs a bit, but I'm very aware that the gun is leveled less than a foot away from my face. The only way I'm putting this rifle down is after I've blown your brains out, the man says. With that, he uses the muzzle of my gun to flip my hard hat onto the floor. It's a childish move, a playground tactic at best, but it's sufficient to show me that he knows he's in control now. He then levels the rifle at Dennis, who I can only assume because of his wounds make him appear to be the weaker of us. The man takes a shaky step forward. Dennis looks back and forth between the barrel of the gun and me, and his eyes pleading for help. Step between Dennis and the gun. I'm getting in the way. Before I'm fully aware of what I'm doing, I step out in front of Dennis. The barrel of the rifle is nearly touching my chest now. Both Dennis and the man seemed a little confused at my action. I tried to do my best to swallow down my fear. I don't know what's going on out here, please, I say, but we are here by mistake. Well, you have no business here, the man says. But now that the power is gone, I think you might be too late anyway. For what, I ask. But he doesn't answer me. Instead, he steps forward and actually pushes me backwards with the end of the rifle. The man then repeats a question he asked before. One that makes me think he's a little crazy. Who sent you? He asked. You a-holes from the Pentagon? I'm not sure how to take the question. Is this guy joking? I really want to say that. The armored man looks as if someone has slapped him. You think I'm playing? He asked, jabbing me with the barrel of the gun. You think I won't blow your head off? Still, his grip on the gun is as tight as ever. His face looked like he'll shoot at me at any moment. You both just stand still. Sooner or later someone will come along and I'll turn you over. He again thrusts the gun forward as if it has an invisible bayonet on it. There's no need for that, I tell him. I have no guarantee that he won't pull the trigger. Look, Dennis says, we don't want any trouble. We're just as confused as you are. Then in a movement so fast that I just miss it, Dennis lunges forward. I have no idea how he is moving so fast. Just 30 seconds ago I was worried of how close to death he looked. But he's moving lightning fast, his left arm going down to the barrel of the gun like a club. The command does pull the trigger. The booming noise is deafening, and there is a moment where I think I've been hit. It takes the clanging noise of the round tearing into the floor at my feet to help me realize that I have not been shot. I look to the floor to see where the shot missed my right leg, less than 3 inches. I'm paralyzed, and in shock for a moment as Dennis and the man fight over possession of the rifle. The fire extinguisher on the wall that you can use as a blanket, but I might not have enough time to grab it before Dennis is overpowered. Dennis has a man pinned if this is strong enough to keep him down. As he falls to the floor to help, the barrel of the rifle swings right in front of my face in reminder of how close I have become to getting shot. I'm on my knees now. I deliver a hard-stiff punch to the man's face. I don't punch someone often, never really. I'm not usually a brawling type. Still, it is apparently effective. The man's head snaps back and his grip on the gun loses. Dennis grabs his gun and falls to the floor, clearly winded in pain. Our attacker is immobilized, and I can feel a shift in the situation. Yes, although he is basically harmless now, I feel to pummel the desire that builds with each second I look at him. I'm not gonna keep punching him, that's just messed up. He's definitely out now, no threat, or at least that's what I think. But he surprises me by mustering up one more swift kick in my direction, connecting with my forehead. My eyelids swell to the side of a grape almost immediately. It seems like his last attack is more to spite me than to defend himself. I stumble back and he's ready for another round of blows, but he just slouches onto the floor. He's done. Dennis instantly hands the rifle over to me and I take it with a hand. Can't believe you stepped between me and that gun. He could have killed you. I'm pretty sure you wouldn't, I said, although I am no such thing. Still, thanks man, that was some heroic. You would have done this, right? Dennis says nothing. His eyes look to the floor. What do we do now, boss? We've come this far and I want to said Dennis. I walk over and pick up my hard hat off the floor. After placing it on my head, I turn towards the man. We get answers from this guy. No answers, the man says. I don't have any. Next time I won't just hit you, said, plunging the rifle towards him. Now get up. He obeys quickly, but his legs are wobbly, and he leans against the wall for support. I can feel my swollen eyelid where he kicked me earlier. I just hope it doesn't get so bad that it affects my sight. Okay, let's move, I say, pointing the gun further down the hallway. If cover is fine, I'm not going to let this guy stop us. We walk down the hallway until we've come to the end. A single elevator waits for us. Its steel sliding doors larger than its normal elevator. Wow, that was a big segment. Oh wow, that's the devil up. That's literally the elevator from the movie Devil. Before I get into the elevator with this guy, I think it's wise to learn a little bit more about him. I can tell that it's making him comfortable for me with the gun. Him, I ask, Marcus, can you work here? It's clear that he doesn't answer us, but he gives us a little nod. We're looking for the rest of the crew. Any idea where there might be? No, he says curtly, not bothering to elaborate. There's got to be some useful info we can get out of this guy. I just need to dig for it. I need a first aid kit for my friend here. Where my 951? On the second floor, he said, but we can't go down there. What's on level 2? He looks at me like I'm an idiot. You must be aware that you're inside of a classified government facility. It makes sense, but I want to doubt it. As I mentioned earlier, I'm the president, so take me to the first aid kit. I can't, he said. I don't have clearance. Heck, I barely have clearance. Then, seemingly to himself, he mutters, I make this place run. And not even a thank you. Just a bunch of freaking restricted access rooms that I'm not allowed to go into with a freaking chaperone. I interrupt his monologue. We're going to that first aid kit. I could lose my job. I wonder for a moment what sort of trouble I could get for hitting a government employee. Makes me glad that I took it easy on him. Then again, he had to come at us with a rifle. Makes me think that things have gone terribly wrong in this place. The explosion in the woods, or whatever the heck happened, might be linked to it all. I need to convince him to take us to the 7th floor. But I'm not sure it would be more productive to threaten him or to ask for sympathy. Well, you just said to him, hold on. Yeah, what sort of trouble I could get into hitting one? Probably threatening would get us into even more trouble. So let's ask for help. Look, I say, it hasn't been the first day. We're just trying to figure out what's going on, to find our crew, to survive. I know that this isn't a normal situation down here. Looks like all your protocols have been blown to heck. Can't you help us out? He looks at me sternly, weighing his options. Okay, he says. Thank you, I say. With an untrusting stare, Marcus walks over to the elevator door, approaching a small keypad by the doors. He punches in a numerical code on the pad, and we can hear a slight mechanical hum behind the steel doors. A few seconds of angles and sneers from Marcus. The elevator arrives. The steel doors open with a whisper, revealing the interior. It's exponentially well lit and seems to be made of stainless steel. I half expect the thing to take off at the speed of light. There's another small keypad in the front right panel by the door with the options for 3 sub-level floors. Looks like this elevator doesn't go to the surface. So after we get a first key for Dennis, how do we get out of here, I ask. We can't leave, Marcus says. Once the power came back on, the whole place was locked down. What? I shout. Can't you override it? No, it's to prevent anything from getting out. I can't. Marcus looks deflated as Dennis. We can't get out. We're stuck here. Dennis leans into the corner and almost falls onto the floor. The struggle for the rifle took a lot out of him. I could see that much in his face. Slowly we start to move down. The hum and the grind of the car's motors fill the space. What can you do? So are we stuck here forever? Marcus scowls at me. I think it's a fair question. It doesn't seem unreasonable to assume he won't be able to get us out. We'll find some exorcists and they'll be begging me to figure out how to lift the lockdown. These people think they're so brilliant, but some of them can barely turn the computers on without help. The top coder in my class at the MIT, and I'm living underground, helping idiots who don't know how to trust me with keys. How big is this place? What goes on here? Marcus shakes his head. You might as well shoot me. I can't tell you. Why not? It's beyond classified, and the things that I don't even know cover as part of it. What does that mean, I think, starting to get irritated. That means that if I wanted to tell you what sort of work is done here, I don't know enough about it. It's a government facility of the highest secrecy, a research facility. It goes 4 stories underground and quite frankly scares the piss out of me that you two got in here so easily. Why is that, I ask. This is a black ops graveyard, he replies. Even the CIA doesn't know if this place exists. What knocked the lights out? No, so what's your job? I handle the IT work and make sure the databases are up and running. It's a 24/7 job. I haven't seen sunlight in almost a year. I wonder what staying in a place like this for that long could do to someone's mind. I was recruited, he continues, to the workload. No one else wants this job. I don't really mind being by myself, no family. Plus the IT, some crazy crap. Crazy how, I ask. This place is generated by 100 terabytes of data per day, he answers, getting the slightest bit excited before his face falls again. One night, what knocked the lights out? There seems to be some sort of power outage, Mark. That's all I know. There was an outage and then what? Dennis says. Then things got weird. Things got bad. Bad how? I asked. The whole place seemed to shake when the lights went out. I was checking the monitors when it happened and everything went dead. It took no more than a minute before I started hearing screams. People were being killed by something. I tried getting on the security systems going again, but they only lasted for a little bit on my backup systems. But what I saw, what? I asked, feeling a sharp fear worm form its way into my guts. Ugh. Uh, well, what I saw on the screens for that little bit of time made no sense. It made me get the gun from the emergency vault. I think whatever it is, it's still down there. Hold on, I said. There's an emergency assault with the rifle in the same room as the security cameras in this place. Marcus gives me a grin that looks nearly insane. There are guns locked away in every room in this place, just in case, you know. What? What? Okay, people died, obviously. As he opened his mouth to answer, the elevator comes to a stop and the sword slides open. Marcus is out right away without a word. He makes his exits and heads directly for a glassed-in room that is filled with computer monitors and high-end equipment. Dennis and I file up behind him, trying to keep up. As we do, one very alarming question runs in my head. What the heck kind of government facility keeps loaded guns and emergency vaults in every single room? End of chapter 2. There's a lot to go on this episode. We have completely changed in where we've been. We went from a logging camp, and now we're in a secret classified government facility. Oh, you and 39% obeyed the warning sign and stayed away from the glow. Oh, the radiation? Yeah. Selflessness. You and 64% of players stepped in front of Dennis to protect him from Marcus. Mercy, you and 65% of players were easy on Marcus after he surrendered. Wow. Alright. I hope you guys enjoyed Buried and Interactive Story Chapter 2. That was really cool, and I cannot wait to play Chapter 3, 4, and 5. But it just is really crazy because I feel like this story is getting a lot more than just an explosion. I think this is getting into like some sort of monster that's been taking over this facility or something. Because if people die by something over here, that means that something went freaking wrong. Like experiments and stuff. So, but yeah. Anyways, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. And if you did, please be sure to slap that like button and comment if you want more. And subscribe if you're new to the channel. Videos will be up very soon, especially Minecraft Story Mode. I will be getting that up. But yeah, anyways, guys, I'll see you guys around. Peace out.